Welcome to the second episode of Write-In Tom McMasters for Huber Heights Mayor. I've titled this vehicle, Is Tom McMasters Lazy or the Best Politician Ever? The correct answer, of course, is neither. At 63 years old, I don't have nearly as much energy as I did when I was 40, but I don't quite qualify as lazy yet. I am, of course, a lousy politician, and that would be obvious if I had published the first version of this vehicle. When I started making this video yesterday, the idea was to get viewers to answer the Dayton Daily News questions. First, to help compose the responses, but also because I haven't really done much politically in the city for a long time. And if you answered the questions, or two questions, this would help me be a better mayor if I ever get elected. In yesterday's version, I was also using the video to show the difference in how we embraced public involvement when I was mayor compared to what it goes on today. Of course, what yesterday's version turned into was 13 minutes of me droning on about numbers. I love looking at numbers, and I appreciate those of you that do, but it's a select few that want to see me trying to do a 13-minute video on spreadsheets. So today I'm going to try to compare and contrast then versus now, but let's see if I can race through it in 3 minutes. Ready, set, go. Alright, so I started off with this website right here, and this website was one from when I was mayor, and you can see that when we talked about the electric energy aggregation, we provided a lot of read-ahead material for residents. This one happened to be 5 pages, this one happened to be 15 pages, and this happened to be 21 pages long, along with staff recommendations, other correspondence, city manager results. Very comprehensive. People could come to the meetings well informed and have good questions when they came to the meeting. Then I clicked on this right here, which was a search for the natural gas aggregation. And you can see that there were only 6 meetings total, and the only one that had any information at all was this one right here, and it was 1 page of that had the company in there trying to get the city to actually do it. Totally different ways to approach community involvement in city meetings. After that, though, I wanted to talk about the Music Center real fast, and this is where I got into 13 minutes of droning on about profits and stuff like that. But you can see here, if you go to the city website, search Music Center, you'll find 318 results, many of which are monthly and yearly reviews of the financial of the Music Center. Those were provided judiciously from 2014 to 2018. Not provided at all after 2018. Why is that important? Well, the city manager tried to give us a verbal report to start out with, and you can see from the Dayton Daily News article that he initially tried to tell us that they had $160,000 profit the first year, and then later on they had to revise it down, and then if you actually come to the reports that we made them do later, 58 pages of reports, but they're summarized nicely in the first 5. You can see that there was actually $115,000 loss the first year. So when you have verbal reports, you get inflated numbers, but when you have actually things that people can look at, these 58 pages in the background, we could look and see that there were things that they weren't reporting the first time they came out. Why is that important? Well, in later years, we actually had $440,000 in operating profits, and people could be confident that we actually had that because they could look at the 183 pages that supported this summary. That's the quick version. At this point, I went back to the Dayton Daily News questions and concluded that it makes perfectly good sense for me to want you involved in answering these questions, because I have experiences that show that when more residents are involved, we get a better product. keep in mind also that I will be a better mayor if I see these responses. And of course, if you provide a super good response, I may just cut and paste it into the real submission that I'm going to make here to the Dayton Daily News. At this point, I tried to get real serious and put on my acting face. And of course, I'm a worse actor than I am a politician. But then I said, let's have a realistic conversation. And at this point, I let all of you know that as a write-in candidate that doesn't take monetary contribution and doesn't plan to spend any more than $100 on the campaign, it's not very likely that I'm going to be elected. But this allowed me to smoothly transition into the idea that if it is possible, we're going to have a grassroots campaign. And I'm going to need you to like, comment, and share this video while also talking to your neighbors and friends. If I'm going to have any chance of being elected, it has to be a grassroots campaign. The way I look at things, I don't give money to politicians, and I'm not going to ask you to either. But a grassroots campaign doesn't have to cost anything. It just needs people willing to talk up someone they like. I'll post links in the description for those of you that love numbers. I will also direct you to huberresidence.org where you can find the Dayton Daily News questions. I hope you will use the comment section of that webpage to provide answers. The more responses there are, the more impressive it will be when other people come look at the site, and more likely they will participate in helping spread the word of my campaign. I also encourage you to post responses in the comment section of this video. This will help get YouTube to show the video to more people. Thanks for watching to the end, and for writing in Tom McMasters when you vote for Huber Heights Mayor.